Now, I don't know about you, but I often see posts advocating self-care, that we should do it, make it a priority, what it is, what it's definitely not, how often to do it and how to do it. But if you want to know what happens in your brain when you practice self-care, whatever that is for you, have it demystified and truly understand the value for your mental and physical health, you're going to want to watch this video. But first, a disclaimer. I am neither neuroscientist nor medical doctor, so you can't take anything I say as medical advice. I mean, I know you wouldn't, but better to be safe than sorry, as I would always say to my clients. If you've got any symptoms that you can't explain or understand, go and see your primary healthcare provider, your GP or your pharmacist. Great. Let's talk self-care and neuroscience. So, what the heck is self-care anyway? Well, broadly speaking, it's anything that you deliberately do that enhances your emotional, mental, physical, or spiritual well-being. And it can look a lot like this, and this, and this. Oh, I really like that one. Or even sometimes this. So you see, self-care is anything. Yes, anything we decide, even if sometimes that thing isn't relaxing or fun. I say this because I've come across the view that it's definitely not doing the things we don't want to do, and that it has to be things that we choose and like. I wholeheartedly think this completely misses the point of self-care. Self-care means literally looking after you. And we all know that sometimes looking after ourselves includes mundane, annoying, or even unpleasant stuff. So it can't just be the happy la-la things in life. That's like being a parent who doesn't insist on regular bedtimes or boundaries. And we all know how terribly that can go. So then the challenge lies in how we can turn lots of different aspects of our lives into part of self-care. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know that I like to really know why we need to do things. And I'm guessing that you, with your, I presume, already busy life, would want that too. So let's talk neurotransmitters. No, not the boring ones, the exciting and cool ones like dopamine, oxytocin and serotonin. They're reward chemicals, and just like getting a gold star on the chart for doing something good as a kid, reward chemicals are there to encourage, to motivate and to drive us to repeat an action that is seen as beneficial for us in thriving terms. So back in early human times, this was really useful because it meant we were more likely to survive and thrive, because these activities would have been things like hunting, gathering, building shelters, looking after each other, etc. Now these days, activities might be a bit different, but the mechanisms, they haven't changed at all. So they're all these chemicals, because they're involved in so many different functions in the body, are really what self-care is about and why it enables us to be well, coping, most importantly, thriving. We get dopamine in anticipation of a good thing, when the brain is expecting a reward. So back in our cave-dwelling days, this was great for motivating us to seek out food and sex and other things useful for survival of our primitive human. Nowadays, we might release dopamine in anticipation of feeling good after a run, ticking off that job on the to-do list, or making and eating a really good meal. It's that pre-accomplishment dopamine hit that encourages us to do things and strengthens the desire to do them. We get oxytocin when we positively interact, do something helpful or nice, a kind touch, a loving gaze. Somebody does something nice for us. It's why part of your self-care might be having a cuddle, helping your neighbour with their garden, or calling one of your friends. Your stress levels and anxiety decrease, feelings of relaxation, mental stability increase, reproductive health is increased. All sorts of things are improved with oxytocin. And we get serotonin when we do something that makes us feel good. This really is the home of self-care, because anything that makes us feel good, whether that's the nice things in self-care like a massage or pottering in the shed or playing music, etc., or the things that we know are good for us, like booking that dental appointment or getting that report done at work, it doesn't really matter. Serotonin promotes feelings of well-being and capability. If you want to know how to describe the good flow of serotonin, it's as simple as this. I got this. It's not about thinking everything will be okay and everything has to be perfect, but it's knowing that you'll be able to cope with whatever life has in store for you that day. Now, hopefully you can see now why these reward chemical neurotransmitters are important and what's happening when you include self-care in your days. Self-care activities not only increase reward chemicals, they help prevent additional stress and anxiety, for which we have a really limited tolerance. If we have too much negativity, stress or anxiety in our lives, we suffer mentally and physically. So we must have these mechanisms for limiting those aspects of our days. Self-care is one really effective way of doing that. And when you expand the activities in your life that you class as self-care, recognise when you've achieved one, notice it and appreciate. It's in that moment that you notice it that you'll be releasing the reward chemicals. And remember, these chemicals are not just good for you, they actually encourage you to repeat that activity. It strengthens the connection between activity and reward, which means we're more likely to feel motivated to repeat it. And that's the beginning of building those self-care habits. By layering up the things that you do in your days, both pleasurable and enjoyable, as well as the things that are good for you but maybe less enjoyable, you give yourself endless opportunities of promoting self-care, which is the best way that you can ensure that you cope, succeed and thrive in life. If you've enjoyed this video, do give it a like. If you have questions or comments, drop them below. And if you'd like to see more videos on how to improve your mind, health and wellness, hit the subscribe button. In the meantime, what are you going to do to promote your self-care?